The big shift that they identified, if you were to summarize it in one word, is real estate companies have gone from really valuing this idea that they have to prioritize the physical attributes and location, right? From location, 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 and house, to customer experience through tech, data analytics, and strong brand and community. And that is essentially the thing that they're identifying that separates today the real estate investment companies that are winning, that are creating higher returns for people versus average run-of-the-mill people that like are the old industry standards. You see, when you hear about that shift, what goes through your head?
Just I feel it at a deep level.
Yeah.
It means everything to me because the big thesis of JWB has been, listen, more people need to have real estate in their portfolio because we need to build a better retirement. So more people need to have real estate in their portfolio. And most people know that. But the reason that most people don't invest is not because of a lack of returns. It's not because of a lack of the opportunity to make money. The reason why most people don't have real estate in their portfolio is because the experience has been hard. The experience has not been enjoyable. And in real estate, the way you win the most is by staying in the game a long time. So the big thesis for JWB, our aha moment, 15 years ago when we went completely head over heels into this turnkey experience was that if we could take this experience of being a real estate investor and making it enjoyable, making it something that you tell your friends and your family about, well, we could really create something really great, something that could make a big impact in our clients' lives. We can make a big impact in our residents' lives. We can make a big impact in our community. So it was never for us about saying, hey, how are we going to take this return component and double the returns that we can drive for our clients? While we would love to do that, the big thesis for us is, hey, listen, the returns in real estate, they're already good enough. The problem is we don't have access to it because it's too hard. How can we make the experience 10x what it typically is and still continue to drive higher returns? And then, we can make the world a better place through real estate. And so that CX, that customer experience, is the core of what the JWB thesis is.
Yeah, man. It reminds me of our initial conversations, right? I remember sitting around this room and you, me, Cody, and Kate, and us, really going hard at this idea of, the top of the website should say real estate investing made easy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's been your message all along. I think as we have had more interaction with our community, have more interaction with folks that are trying to make this leap and really diving into like the core problem here, we've also surfaced this idea that retirement stats are broken, right? Like you've had this like data point of people want to be in real estate, but they don't own real estate for a really, really long time. I think it was really easy to think that the main issue, and April's saying it right now, and this is an issue for people, right? Lack of funds to get started for initial down payment, and like that price continuing to go up. That is an initial obstacle, but you've always held true to the idea that like finding the money is one of the most solvable issues there is. But at the end of the day, what really hurts people is this idea that the moment you tell someone, oh, you know what, I just saved, I'm thinking about using my 401k to put this much money into real estate, you're going to get people coming out of the woodwork saying, you know what, man, they're going to promise you all this stuff, but it really actually sucks. And that's why people aren't doing it. So this idea that they've uncovered customer experience, like the right data that you can really count on, and this idea of community as like crowdsource the real information and the true contextual experience for yourself and make you feel like you're not crazy because you're about to do this is like a key thing that, is the reason why we now have a community that has, man, I was just looking at this math recently, but what is it, like 2 people that have already generated over $2 million in wealth from real estate, like 16 people that have generated over a million, and something like around the lines of like, I might be wrong on that.
I think it was 160 or 180 that have generated over $500,000.
Over $500,000, right? Well,
through JWB investments.
Through JWB real estate investments, right? And those are all folks that show up to this show.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right. So it's like they have figured all this stuff out. They're having experience. they have created an edge. So let's dive a little bit deeper into this, like from this shift into like what's making it happen.
Mhm.
And, I kind of want to go insight by insight, right? Enhance customer experience, data-driven decision-making, and building strong brand and community. Let's talk about customer experience, because that's where you first went to, right? Like that
Yeah.
is the key insight. Talk me through the aha moment for you guys.
When we first started, we first fell in love with rental properties before we really knew what the main problem affecting the world is. And the problem is access and experience in owning rental properties for most people. So we first fell in love with the asset and we built our own portfolio. We bought about 40 rental properties back in 2006 and 2007. So I was 23 years old with my business partners and, we fell in love with it, but we were 23 and we were so hungry to be successful and we didn't have wives and families and we put everything on the line to be able to do this. And so it was such a sacrifice to be able to own a rental property or to build a portfolio. So after we did this, we kind of took a step back and we're like, man, that's not exactly easy to replicate. And so there was an aha moment of like, wow, we want to bring this to the world. We want to bring this to folks to be able to help. But like, how do you replicate what we just did? We really need to deconstruct everything we just did to make it easy for others. So there was a moment there where it was like not just out of the box, easy to do. Yeah. We really needed to break it down. And then we also started to look at it from like what the normal experience is for owning real estate that everybody just has accepted for so long and realize that it is not enjoyable by itself.
Yeah.
Right? The normal experience for when people use a real estate professional to go and buy a property still includes a lot of waiting. It includes a lot of taking your time to go and see many properties. It includes a lot of stressful offers that you put out. It includes a lot of rejections. It includes a lot of negotiating. It includes a lot of big numbers and working with people that you don't necessarily know have your best interests with lenders and title and insurance. And it's just for many, forever, we've just sort of accepted this is what it's like to own real estate. Yeah. And so we kind of looked at it from both of those perspectives of like what it really takes to have real estate in your portfolio it used to take a tremendous amount of just passion, sacrifice, and then at the same time,
perseverance.
Right? And at the same time, the normal way of doing this that everybody just already accepts isn't easy to do either. Yep. So we just looked at that and we said, if we could meet somewhere in the middle, listen, not everybody is going to go and buy 40 rental properties in a year and a half like we did, right? You don't have to do that to be successful, right? But if we could make the experience, again, 10 times better than what normal real estate is, then we could really, really make an impact here. And so that aha moment of understanding both of those components created this space in between for us that we could achieve and meet and really, again, make an impact on others.
Yeah, I mean, to me, you and your partners have always been like really intuitively sharp business guys, and seeing this like gap in the market of, hey, people want to do this, but it's really, really hard for us to get to 40. So how do we get people to 4? Yeah. Seems really, really intelligent. And when I think of the history of JWB as told on this show multiple times, I think of the idea that you guys first had the insight. So you started thinking, well, we can bring properties to folks, right? Like there's a moment where, all right, we have 40, we can just kind of start building a company around also like acquiring it for folks. And you were doing that while outsourcing property management to people. And then you're just like, wait a minute, this property management experience sucks. So we're just going to have to build this out ourselves. And now, I don't know exactly how long ago it was that you guys started property management. I'm estimating around 10 or 11 years ago, but you now have
2010 is when we started.
You now have 6,000 homes under management. You have maybe the biggest single market property management company underneath. And your commitment to the client experience is essentially, we thought our business was finding properties and remodeling them. And now we've realized our business is actually property management, and we're willing to pivot our whole business model around that.
Yeah. The basis for why we were going to be successful was client experience. Yeah. And if that is your North Star of how you're going to be successful, we quickly learned that we can't do that unless we control all aspects of the investment and become vertically integrated.
Yeah.
You know, when we first got into property management, we weren't exactly excited about building a property management company.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same reason that you all hire us. You're not exactly excited about doing property management, right? We quickly learned, though, that our business overall was not going to be the level of success that we wanted unless we leaned in and we realized how successful property management was critical to the client experience. And when we did that, then we became very excited about it. And
Sure.
that's why we love it today. And now we've grown to about 6,000. But that North Star is client experience.
Yeah.
And whatever needs to be done to improve that client experience, it's on the table at JWB, and there's a good chance that we're going down that path.
True, right? Like the foundation is running your own property management company. The application of it all, I think, goes straight into like your core values of under promise and over deliver, and how you know, when I look at like kind of like the periphery of client experience, I realized early on that you all are really good at client gifting, right? Like I've been given a couple of surprises myself, and I've seen it in other people's homes that have this stuff. And the different conversations I've had around under promising and over delivering with you of how you set up the, like, from the sales process all the way through to like every touch point. You've advised me on my own business of, hey man, only promise something that you 100% believe that you can deliver and are pretty sure that you can do better than, and don't go beyond that, because the biggest risk to client experience is not matching expectation.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can continue to match and or exceed expectation, people will continue to trust you more, and they will do business with you a long time. And that is the foundation of a really, really good business.
100%. I mean, that's our strategy right there. We've done this for 18 years now. We know we're going to be able to deliver on.
Yeah.
When you talk to my team and you're thinking about investing with us, we're going to tell you what we know we can do. But as our data has shown with our client performance, and you know, we generated over $300 million in profits to clients over the last 18 years. I can guarantee you that we did not put in the estimates that we were going to generate $300 million in clients, $300 million in profits to those clients, right?
Yeah.
If we can just deliver and just do what we say we're going to do, call it almost every single time,
Yep.
and we leave ourselves this little room for surprise and delight, and you do this over and over and over. It's every time that we talk to somebody and we say, hey, listen, we're going to get this deliverable to you on Friday. If we can get it, and we really think we can get it there on Thursday, we're going to tell you Friday. You know, we get it there on Thursday, right? You buy the house, you buy your JWB investment property, and we tell you that it's going to come in at $1,350 for rent. And meanwhile, we're advertising it for $1,375.
Yep.
And we think we really have a chance at $1,375. You're in the process of closing on the house. You get a call from your JWB portfolio manager, and we're saying, hey, guess what? Not only is the house rented,
Yep.
but it's rented at $1,375. This is what it does for your cash flow.
Yep.
You look and you construct your entire relationship, especially in the beginning with a client, and you just stack all these positive wins. And it's not like you have to drive 20 or 30% returns to build lifelong fans and to build a following. You just have to know what you can deliver on. You have to deliver on it consistently. And if you have that opportunity to just do a little bit better, over and over and over again, you're going to create this wonderful foundation and trust, and people on the other end, the people who are paying you money, are going to be so excited to get your phone call. Yeah. And that's what we set out to do a long time ago. And it's quite simple, but it's really, really effective.
Yeah. And as I think about, you know, the value that we can provide by having this discussion, I think of two things. One is this idea of, if you are building a real estate business, I know half of our listeners are people trying to like be like JWB in other markets and stuff like that. If you're building a real estate business or any business, you know, like paying attention to what you just talked about, I can tell you from personal experience, will result in a good business long term, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I've gotten that advice from you multiple times in private. I've seen you say it in rooms of young entrepreneurs. And like every single time, I'm just like, man, I'm so glad that I'm close to you. I can listen to that. As an investor who is evaluating who they're going to invest with, right? The key things to look for on this client experience thing is, Well, first of all, this idea that if you're gonna invest in turnkey, you want somebody that is also the property manager to be the person selling you the property, because then they can control the experience. And two, you want to work with a property management organization that's set up to win when you win, based on metrics, based on things like, I guess you can explain this pretty well.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Well, so just kind of go through this. Again, if we start with what our North Star is, and the customer experience became the thing that we were going to win and win at, and that's
Yeah.
why people were going to, help us be successful over the years, is because of our client experience. Well, if we realize that property management in-house is the only way for us to deliver on that customer experience premise, well, you guys got to realize the same thing. And whether or not you're thinking about investing with JWB or investing with somebody else, realize that vertical integration leads not just better returns for you, it leads to a better client experience.
Yeah.
Vertical integration in this setting means property management is under one roof. It is the same people who are selling you the property are the same people that are collecting the rent, so that you have no room for the blame game, for pointing fingers when it doesn't happen. Everything has goal alignment. So we realized that back in 2009, 2010, we officially started JWB Property Management. And sooner or later people figure it out. Unfortunately, if people don't take this advice and they buy rental properties and have the management outsourced by somebody else, what you see is what we typically see in our country right now. If people have enough courage to even buy that first rental property or go down that route, they typically don't last.
Yeah.
And that's why this asset class gets a bad rap.
Yep.
So, the proof is already there that it doesn't work. This concept of vertical integration in all aspects under one roof, prior to JWB and maybe one or two other companies really pioneering this over the last 18 years, it didn't exist in the residential real estate space. So it's still relatively new.
Yep.
So, but there is no truly passive experience that is built for you to enjoy it for the long haul, unless it's all under one roof.